That was scaring everybody. Welcome to the Gonzo Radio Sports Desk, also now streaming live on Facebook. Hi, everybody. How you doing? I'm Big Daddy Gonzo. We got a lot to unpack. We got a lot to get to because there's just so much going on. I'm stalling and talking and stretching while I'm getting rid of stuff. So I've got everything together because we didn't have to reboot a camera because last week we had to reboot a camera, and usually I have all the cue windows all the way across going bing, 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 bing because I'm a great producer. Thank you very much. And last week was chaos. So for those of you who watched it, we're like,
it was my mic that I got frozen, didn't I, last week?
Your camera got frozen. Matt the Maseracchio.
Oh, I'm not frozen. Yes, I'm here. Yes.
Yeah, there's going to be a contest to see if somebody can actually spell your name verbatim by surprise.
A couple of vowels, an O at the end. It's not too hard.
There's no cheating on Facebook.
Yeah.
There's no N's.
You know what though? And this is the truth. Diana did not take my last name. I think I've mentioned this before. She, her last name is King, K-I-N-G, right? Mine is not. Mine is Maseracchio, as we said. And she's like, no, not doing it.
Not doing it.
Too many letters. She doesn't want to get the eventual carpal tunnel, all the signatures. She does all the billing and all that signing of the last name. So took me, listen, this is no joke. Now, this is my trauma as a child. Do you remember the old tests? The old test, but the tests we took in school with the bubble scan that we had to bubble in your name, right?
Yes.
The teacher used to give me my packet like 10 minutes before the other kids because I had to do my first name, my middle name. I have 74 letters in my whole name.
Boy here.
Yeah, literally, it took me 20 minutes before I could take my test. So, yeah, hello, everybody. It's football Saturday, and we got some football to go over. A lot of stuff, a lot of stories, a lot of DFS.
Now, that can be said every week. We got some football to go over. Yeah, of course we got football to go over. I mean, we are one of the better and more successful analysts, if you will. We really rank up there with a lot of those guys on the big networks and on the big radio shows and everything. I mean, I listen to a few of the wagering shows. I don't want to taint my my perception, if you will, because I want to hear how it comes out of coming out of your head and out of your head, and I help analyze it. I'm not bringing my own metrics. Okay, I'm gonna kind of be like you guys, you listeners out there, you viewers out there, and I mean with a better than average knowledge of sports. So I speak your language. I understand what you guys are doing. It's going to help disseminate it because I'm like one of the people. I'm not Pat McAfee or anything like that. I don't have a fancy black tank top or a spray tan or he's a pretty good pro wrestler, by the way. That's crazy.
He was.
That's crazy.
He's got a lot of talent, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Punter, wrestler, sports podcast.
You go to and punter. Yeah, I was gonna
Aaron
say,
Rodgers' boyfriend.
Yeah. Oh, hey, if you want,
he's got a lot.
Him and AJ Hawk, man.
Yeah, they're
those
pretty
three are tight.
Yeah, they are real tight.
It's a good show, though.
Well, I think
It really, very
it's
much.
a good show. I like
one
it.
of them
I
is
enjoy
tighter
it.
than the other. Probably.
He goes against one of his old homeboys, his old coach Chuck Pagano. The guy who helped him get a Super Bowl ring, right? That's So, by the way, big shout out. If we had a fraction of their audience, we would be so busy. It's ridiculous. So anyway, I got sidetracked. I represent the people. They are the guys, the experts, the talking heads,
we do a lot of work.
Stat spitters. You do a lot of work.
Well, we
do a lot of work. This guy's sitting over here.
There's
right
a lot
now.
of stuff. Like if you go back to the early shows,
we're talking cheap wine hustler right here. We're talking. we're talking.
Dang, Gonzo!
I know he did. He spilled you out.
So real quick, screw top versus cork. Screw top versus cork.
Do not screw top wine, guys. Don't even get a glass of it. It will mess your whole day up the next day. My God.
Definitely use a tool to open your wine bottle.
Yes.
Yeah, not your hand.
Johnny Audubon. You have you had some success last week, but you did not have success last night. Last night was a big fun-filled debate.
Oh, it was triple L last night, and then sitting here half asleep.
But welcome to the show. These are the guys you got to pay attention to, and these are the guys, and also Andrew Lawson, who A-Law's a busy man. We're going to say he's away on assignment.
He is on assignment.
He's on assignment.
Yes,
at a retail location near you.
Definitely in the probably the apparel department.
Right.
Yeah.
These are definitely guys you need to listen to because we're talking about success. We're talking about actionable material, actionable evidence, if you will. I experimented last week and went against the core four. I went against y'all's advice. Went against any potential this or potential that. And I ate shit last week. Bagel. $14 in low stakes fantasy, daily fantasy. And I may as well just set it on fire.
Burn it. But you know what, though? I mean, listen.
I mean, a small pizza. I bought a pizza.
This is what we're doing anyway. We all. I mean, obviously, I do work. John does a lot of work.
That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to experiment and see. Let's see if these guys are really right.
It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. I mean, week after week, even guys, the experts. I'm not claiming to be an expert, but if you listen to the experts, it's a crapshoot right now in the NFL. I mean, you're looking for an angle. You're looking for, some sort of take on some sort of bit of information to be able to translate that into fantasy success, and it is not consistent. Right?
There are a lot of surprises week to week. You'll have guarantees every week that will get you 4 fantasy points. It happens sometimes, guys. Or you'll have teams that you'll bet on that go, there's no way they don't cover that spread, and all of a sudden they lose the game, and you're like, how does that happen? So, I mean, there's an educated guess to this. You do have to kind of know what you're talking about, but sometimes you can't control certain things. And
there's angles and variables that we have no control over.
It isn't.
And you know what? This is going to kind of lead us into our first little kick rock subject, I think, here. What about, we're talking about when we do all this work, the analysts and everybody studying all week and crunching the numbers and trying to, prognosticate what's going to happen on the field and come up with a result. When you plan these scenarios, you set these different parameters and base your analysis on that. Then all these outside forces come into play that you're like, what the hell was that? Referees, bad calls. It's very popular right now.
What weather?
There's a lot of different things, but let's focus on the referees parts of things right now.
We're getting some kick rocks here. Is that what you're trying to do?
The most recent game was the Dolphins and Eagles, where you had 10 penalties on one side and 0 on the other. Now, I'm not here to debate, not here to go back and forth who's right, who's wrong.
But rock solid, or kick rocks.
Yeah.
For those of you listening at home, I have graphics. I'm going to use them. So go ahead.
Robots or referees? Now, here's the thing. Years and years and years, we got referees, right? And for the most part, I think if you look back at history, there's anomalies. There's situations. There's been refs on the take. There's the basketball story where he was tied in with the moms. I mean, there's been instances where there's been clear deception. There's been clear human intervention to change an outcome. Yes. That's never going to change, okay? But it is not the norm, okay? Fair to say? All right, it is not the norm. Most of these guys, they're dignified, hardworking guys. They're humans. They do make mistakes. But I'm going to say mostly officiating is on the up and up. But that being said, the game's fast. We're talking football, right?
Basketball. Don't anthropomorphize them.
There's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of responsibilities. These guys have a huge task. And they're just, in my opinion, not performing at the level at which they should.
No, and it's worse and worse. It seems like every week. We'll go back to that Dolphins game. There have been over 40,000 football games played in the history of the NFL, and that is only the 7th time that one team has been called for 10-plus penalties and the other team has been called for none. And on top of that, when you go and rewind some of these holding calls, they are getting WWE like chokeslammed, and they're not getting no calls for themselves, and it's ridiculous. Now, I understand that if someone grabs for a half a second and you miss that, fine. These people are being wrapped around the neck. You can't, it's just, are people taking off their helmets? Those are automatic 15s, and I don't understand why they're not being called in certain moments of the game. So I do agree with you that for most of the game, calls are being called the way they should, but then they seem to be changing in key moments that determine games. And it just, as bettors, it sucks. It's really hard to, bet games when you know that the referee possibly could change the entire outcome of a game. At the same time, machines might mess up the game too. In baseball, this works because you have one pitch and you can see right where that one pitch is at, and it's fine. There's so much grabbing and touching and big bodies and, like you said, speed. There's holding on almost every call if you're going to use robots. So now the games are going to take 6 hours, 7 hours long because every other play has a hold. So I like the human aspect of it, but they got to get better, man. I mean, this has not been this bad in the NFL like this, or we would just be used to it. And we're complaining because it's different right now. It's more and more every week.
There's just so much involved in sports. I'm talking about money now, okay, between the gambling, between the DFS, player salaries. So many people are vested financially in sports that I'm not saying you depend on it, but you at least respect. We respect as fans, as the ones that are out there driving this machine. Let's just use the NFL as an example. We demand the best potential product on the field. That's not just the players. That's
At all times.
That's the referees as well, especially when, like you're saying, that their decisions are so pivotal and can create outcomes.
Yep.
And that's not what refereeing is about. Refereeing is deciding on actions within the game based on those particular actions, not as a whole. So they need to get better at that. Now, I don't know what the condition of the state of the NFL referees are now in terms of if they're full-time employees, if they're not full-time. I know the Referees Association was pushing for that, the union and whatnot. I mean, we can find out. But all these guys in all these leagues need to be treated no different than the players, okay? They're employees of these leagues. They need full-time training, benefits, this whole deal. Get these guys so that they're in the best situation to perform. And that's what has to happen, because clearly, I know I'm not conspiracy guy and going to say these guys are on the take in this one Eagles game. That's the most recent one in our memory. I'm seeing a lot of stories on the internet about one particular referee that's from the area. You can find the whole 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon separation. Everybody's related to everybody in some way. I don't think that's the case, but it doesn't excuse human error. It doesn't excuse a lack of planning or an effort to make a situation the best that it can be. That's what we all deserve. The NFL there's no reason why they can't be that as well.
Absolutely.
It's cute that you're actually nice about this, that you're pragmatic about this, that you want to give them the benefit of the doubt. You want, like I said, I use the word anthropomorphize. Go ahead, Google it. Don't anthropomorphize them. The human errors, the human mistakes, the game has gotten faster than a human being can keep up with it, period. Same for basketball, same for elements of baseball, and definitely elements of hockey. I mean, come on, you guys know how fast a friggin' hockey game is. So the game has gone beyond the ability for the naked human eye to have a reliably high percentage of accuracy. As far, and of course there's judgment calls too. So what needs to be done is the system needs to be revamped to a hybrid system where you have what you already have
integration of both.
But instead of having one official handling all games that are going on, because there's one guy back in New York or one girl lady back in New York who is watching all, and everybody beep beep, hey, come look at our crap.
Screen 6.
No. Every game, every site, you take them, they're part of that. Now they're part of the officiating crew. Okay, you have them, your dedicated official. You also have technology to where you could see 360 degrees, not just TV camera angles, okay, but 360 degrees.
From the field
They can render it in 3 dimensions.
Yeah, it's incredible,
okay?
The ability.
There's no escaping this fact.
Yeah.
So what you do, first of all, you have to rewrite some rules. You're right, Johnny. You will be able to catch holding on every play. Change the standard. I think you should change the standard anyway, because they call too many holding plays to begin with. And if you don't want your quarterback to get killed, you know what? Let him hold. Okay? But you got to give the defensive lineman back something. Okay, supposedly they're not allowed to do a cross-body chop or something like that with your hands. There's a couple of hand fighting moves that they're not allowed to use.
Towards the arms?
Yeah.
They can't. That's right. Yeah.
There's some sort of new rules about that. Well, guess what? You get your karate chop back. Okay, they can grab you. They can grab you by the shoulder.
The
pads.
NFL is pretty good about maneuvering through this landscape of change to make things better.
It needs to happen.
Yeah.
It needs to happen with baseball. Yeah. It needs to happen with every major sport. It just does.
I'm more on board, maybe again the term integration, using both.
It's not going to take it's not going to take the human element out of it. It's just not. The human element is playing the game.
Right, exactly. So why can't the human element be a part of officiating the game?
But that judgment, especially that judgment of what you don't see, because now that we're integrated with gambling and DFS for money, i.e. gambling, Okay, now there's a whole new market of money on this. It's not just the rich guy up there it's not just Jerry Jones in his box going, I'm gonna make about $900 million this year. No, it's not about that guy now. It's not about the owners. It's not about the people whose jobs depend on these teams. Now it's about everybody. It's about a big, wide swath of people.
Oh, it's driving the trend.
Yeah.
Listen, I've seen on helmets now advertisements for, I think it was one of the gambling sites.
Yeah, gambling
something
sites.
269 Sports. I
Right.
don't know what it was, but on a helmet, on a college player's helmet. And it was an advertisement for this gambling site, 269 Sports. Again, not sure that's
Because he
the
got
name.
suspended for half a season for gambling.
Well, he may have, but yet he could put it on his head.
Right.
So it's just, again, if they're going to commit or if they're going to benefit from everybody partaking in the success of the NFL, then, and again, the ones that are getting the success are usually the ones at the top. Here at the bottom, the fans need to get a better experience, need to get a better product, need to get a more finished product in those moments where they matter most. And that's something they're responsible for.
And the NFL also has to think about if they don't clean this up. You know, fans have proven in the past in a few different occasions. We won't get into
We
them.
will walk away.
We will turn them TVs off on Sunday, at least from your channels, and we won't watch for 3 weeks, and we'll hurt your pockets. I mean, it just
We'll
is
stop
what it
watching
is.
Red Zone.
Yeah, we won't buy tickets. We won't buy merchandise. You guys have already been through this a couple of years ago and lost
We'll
billions
just watch
of dollars.
Dolphin games.
Yes.
And
There's
and
it.
Matt'll just watch the Steelers
Don't
lose.
force me to watch that shit.
And that's what I'm talking. Like,
Take it easy.
They have to
we
consider
haven't
that.
started yet.
if they
Yeah.
start hurting the fans as far as the experience,
Oh, yeah.
like you said, we'll
So,
hurt you right back.
Guys, are we kicking rocks on this, or are we agreeing to a little bit of an integration? I don't think there's a full replacement.
Hybrid,
fair.
human.
Like, let's say I throw a flag,
Yeah.
and you're upstairs in the booth, and
Yeah.
we're talking as
yeah.
referees. They could come down and be like, "Hey, we just reviewed it. There is no pass interference on
Every
that."
play.
And you could just say, "Hey, no,
Yeah.
there's no flag," and you
Every
can make
play.
it right away.
Every play, every time.
Yep.
Every play, especially if you got even a 25-second clock. Now, you want to affect the ability to go ahead and review that play, which teams already do. Okay, you know, you got a guy who caught a ball. Yeah, I caught it. Let's go. They're like, all right, let's go. Omaha. Why? Because they don't want you to look at it.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Okay, so you got a 10-second window. Let's get that window down to 10 seconds. 360
I know.
degrees.
Yeah. Listen, keep the guy. This is what you do.
Three-dimensional.
Very simple.
Zoom in, zoom out. Did he catch it?
Keep your guys on the field.
Touch the ground.
Train them better.
Exactly.
And then secondary to those humans, have another group of humans doing an AI,
Yeah.
superficial, everything else that monitors this. A team of people that are also in assistance to the referees.
So if you agree on integration, is that kick rocks or is that rock solid?
That's rock solid
It's rock
integration.
solid
yeah.
integration.
So that let's
all
do
robots
that.
is kick rocks.
You got to
All
keep a human
humans is
element to
kick
the
rocks.
game.
So, all right, next one. Man, Cleveland Browns, Deshaun Watson. I was very, very, very outspoken once all this stuff started breaking a few years ago about all his legal issues. And I said that
we have show archives to prove it.
5 stories. No, it's 10
We got
girls,
proof. Go on
there's
this
20
channel. We got
girls.
proof back there.
Yeah.
We said it.
The team was involved with cover-ups. It was just so messy and so ugly that it was going to be so hard for him to come back from. So here we are, fast forward, 2 years later, works through the legal trouble, somehow gets a slap on the wrist from the NFL, somehow Cleveland spends $1 billion on him in a 5-year contract.
$258 million.
It's $1 billion. So it's a $50 million cap hit this year. $52 million cap hit this year. Over the last 10 games, Deshaun Watson has 11 touchdowns. Okay, that's last year and this year. Now, obviously, we talk about football being a business and the salary cap and whatnot. At some point, I think they're going to have to kick rocks here because it's not working, and there's weirdness going on now in the organization with him and things that were said. Is he hurt? Is he not hurt? Playing one quarter, not playing the next. My opinion here is eventually you can't put lipstick on a pig
Hi, live TV. How you doing?
and not call it a pig, right? So Cleveland tried, and once again as an organization,
More light on the side of his head.
they failed miserably in their decision-making process, and it's not working. And that's a shame because that team, that defense,
you're glowing. It's
and
beautiful.
and they've got some talent on that team, and they just Most important position, swing and a miss.
They won a game with P.J. Walker at quarterback.
Johnny, what do you think about our boy Deshaun Watson?
This is one of the
brother. Speak on behalf of us, all of us Dolphin fans. Go ahead. You have the floor. Represent Dolphin Nation about how we feel about Deshaun Watson.
I'm disappointed because this was one of my big, in the beginning when we started doing this podcast, week 1, I told you I expect a big year from him. And even though he seemed to be progressing, now that he's injured again, and it's just, I don't have high hopes for him anymore. Not from what I'm seeing. He has a good team around him. He has a phenomenal running game with Chubb. Ford is looking like one hell of a running back, too.
Yeah, don't forget Chubb is hurt.
He's got weapons.
They got a top 5 offensive line.
I mean, they got a great defense. But they're actually playing almost
good
better
coach,
without
too.
him.
Kevin Stefanski is fantastic. I like him.
I don't know. Let's all have a little chat here. Do they play better without Deshaun Watson?
Yeah,
I think they're either the same or better.
It's
that's bad.
It's a small sample size, but I can give you Deshaun's 10-game sample size, and it's not good,
right? It's not good.
So,
I expected him to come in here and crush it, and he is so not right now. And I'm going to have to kick rocks on Deshaun if I have to make a decision right now. The only thing that would have me keeping him is that he's going to cost me a fortune if I drop him. Other than that, he'd be gone already. So I think the only way he stays is they're looking at the money of this and going, how we pay a man $250 million and only keep him for a year and a half.
To me, it looks like he's playing really tight. And I think part of the reason is because he's not getting those massages anymore. He's just not as flexible. He's not as loose as it used to be before. So,
you are just so loose.
So I took a shot.
Swung for the fence. Gonna do it. You know he's gonna
out of the park on that one, baby. Yeah. So.
All right. Well, then I will speak on behalf of all Miami Dolphin fans that we consider Deshaun Watson to be a bullet dodged. Okay, Deshaun Watson, Dalvin Cook.
That
Who?
Brian Flores.
Brian Flores. Well, actually, he's got Minnesota's defense playing well now.
I liked him, but it didn't work here. And we said why, and there were some problems here. He is
definitely better off as a coordinator because
I agree.
Stick him in the corner of the building,
he does not
one room.
connect with the young people.
He
does not connect with the young people.
Yeah, he's not
because that's what you see right now. That is what it's all about in the NFL. Is you have to have a coach that can connect with them young folks.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the kid. Look at the kid that's coaching the Arizona Cardinals. He looks like he's 15. He didn't look like he shaved last week. All right, but I bet you what. I bet you he's smarter than all of us put together. I bet that's a smart dude, and look how they're playing. It's not like they're sloppy. It's not like they're coming out there and laying down like dogs every week. They're not getting crushed 70-10.
No, they're competitive.
Okay,
actually,
they're competitive.
They're
they ball out
every game.
Okay, and they're getting better. So don't sit here and tell me that a hard-nosed coach is necessary, because not in the NFL, not nowadays. You know, you look at the college coaches; they've had to soften it up.
The problem is when we make these when we make these comparisons and we say this works and this doesn't work, when you attach winning to that, everything works. So you could say the coach is a hard ass, but they're winning, it works. You could say the coach is a puss and they're winning, it works.
And to Gonzo's point of like connecting with the young people, look at all of the teams that are really super successful right now. The Eagles, young coach. You have the Rams that have already won the Super Bowl, young coach. Mike McDaniels is looking like the future right now, young coach. You have there's one more that's the guy you just mentioned that looked like a 15-year-old. It's like all these guys are successful because the new kids coming in, they're like, I like playing for him, and they play for him.
Well, there's a relatability there.
And you have
there's
England.
value in that.
You have an older coach that's very like, you're going to do this right now as I say it, and the young guys are like, nah, bro, I make way more money than you, and you're not doing it.
You can bring examples of it.
Bill makes more money than everybody on the team.
You can bring examples of old guys doing well too. It's not about age. It's about the individual and his ability to connect with the players.
Yeah.
And you can do it as an old guy. You can do it as a young guy, as a white guy, as a black guy. It doesn't matter.
I 200%. I tell you that Bill Belichick connects with his players. He does.
Oh, 100%.
He connects.
Most of these guys, I think, do.
Bill Belichick connects with his players.
You got to remember, guys, that these guys, they started at very low levels of coaching.
Right.
And they've been doing this a long time.
Right.
Even the young guys, they're in this 20 years.
I'm not putting age on it. I mean, Andy Reid's older than all of us. I mean, Andy Reid's, 63, 64, something like that?
Well, how old are you?
He's as fat as me, and he's older than me. Andy, the Manjaro, bro. Do the Manjaro, the Ozempic. Do it. Trust me.
How about
your wife will love it?
I got a
Trust
better
me.
idea. Use chopsticks. Just
Chopsticks.
hide the utensils, you fat fuck. I just don't understand.
Hey,
no. What I'm saying,
hey.
you look good. You're losing weight.
You're monetized.
No, I'm just saying he has the means.
Losing weight? No, bro. I'm deflating. I've got a waddle now. It's
He has the
ridiculous.
means. People that have the means to do it get cooks and chefs and trainers, and meanwhile he gets pizza and sporks and Kool-Aid. So it's
and
just
his hot
shoveling
blonde
it in
wife
like
and his
this.
hot blonde trophy wife likes fat guys. So what's his motivation? to lose
whatever.
weight?
Keep eating those Popeyes.
So anyway, yeah, these coaches, these younger coaches, they definitely connect with the players. McDaniel listens to the same music as his kids do. I mean, come on, he's 37.
I think
He's 37. I'm wearing underwear that old right now.
I'm a year older than he is.
Oh, there you go.
Yep. So it's like it's
Yeah,
crazy. to
and you're
think about,
definitely
right?
the baby up in this.
Yeah, no doubt.
So what were we talking about, old man Matt?
No
Deshaun
doubt.
Watson?
Yeah. So I'm
we got all the way there.
I'm kicking the Deshaun Watson, kicking it rocks, baby. Kick it by. See ya. Out. Take the cap hit. Move on.
Good dodge.
Lick your wounds.
So let me ask you: if you were the owner and you do take that cap hit, I mean, how do you build a team for the next 2 or 3 years anyway? Wouldn't you just keep him and hope that he develops? I don't know.
First
It's
of all,
just-
the next rookie that you take in the draft is going to be in a rookie contract anyway. It'll hurt for a year or two, but it's better than putting him out there, paying all that money,
All right,
and knowing that it's going to end.
All right. Well, wait. Hold on. Okay. So here's the question: how much are the Cleveland Browns on the hook for how long until they can get out of the contract?
If they cut him
Because-
now, it's
yeah.
a $38 million hit next
You mean
year.
cut him for 2024?
Yes.
Okay, after this season.
This is a $54 million
Right.
hit. It's already been established.
Right.
He's already played.
What have you already got in the bank? Now what are you guaranteed for next year?
What do you mean? If they cut him before the
No,
season,
if they
if they
don't
keep
cut
him.
him. If they keep him.
he's on the. He's at $54 million a year. He's a 5-year, $250 million
But you
player.
can cut him next year and only lose
38 million hit, I think.
So then maybe you do cut him because you're. I mean, no matter what, you got to pay him 50. No, but you guaranteed the contract though, didn't you? I mean, you got to pay him the money anyway.
It's not about the money. It's about talking about the cap hit. I'm talking about what they'll have to take a hit against the salary for us, so they can not financially as an organization move on, but from a playing perspective, go get another player.
Right.
Get rid of him and fill a spot with a guy that's going to perform.
Right. Well,
And-
here's what's going to happen. Okay, you're going to have a team that wants to take a huge shot, a huge chance, has tons of cap space, and they do a little back rooms where you always see surprise trades. I mean, I know with Adam Schefter and all these guys that are, they're always sniffing around and they always got connections in every building that'll love to text him and tell him, "Oh my God, we just they're up at 11 o'clock and they're talking to somebody on the phone from Cleveland." And no, because the NFL can be secretive if it wants to. You get those surprise trades. Nobody saw McCaffrey getting traded to San Francisco all of a
Tyreek
sudden,
Hill.
or
Yeah.
Tariq Hill coming to Miami, and then all of a sudden, bang, it happens. Okay, and believe me, those people were talking about it for days beforehand. So if they want to keep a secret, they can keep a secret. So you catch a team like the New York Giants, you catch a team like I don't know, Atlanta, somebody that's quarterback desperate and still believes. Okay, still believes that Deshaun Watson can be great. Okay, maybe Bill O'Brien talks Bill Belichick into it. They got lots of cap space out there because they've been paying a rookie his rookie
But
salary.
the thing is that
and they're not going to sign him for his 5th year. So
those other teams
make the
all
move.
know that if Cleveland is desperate enough to move away from Deshaun this quickly, that they're not going to get anything in terms of compensation.
Second
for a
round draft
trade.
choice.
They'll never get it.
a 2.
They'll never get it.
A
Even
2?
that,
They'll
do
never
you
get
think Deshaun Watson is actually that much better than Mac Jones?
It doesn't matter.
Like, you know
At
what I'm
this
saying?
point,
Like, is it worth it to do something like that? He's not that
I'm
much
going to say
better.
physically talented, yes.
But physically
talented,
off the field.
But mentally, they're about on the same level because Matt makes bad decisions at critical times. I've watched this kid play over and over and over again because I'm on the East Coast feed. Okay, and I've seen him, and he for the first 3 quarters of the game, he may make 1 or 2 bad decisions, and it may or may not bite them in the ass. But in the 4th quarter, it's just like cover your eyes and just start throwing it all over the place. Okay, and that's the reason why they run so much in the fourth quarter. They got to take the ball out of his hands because he's not making good decisions, especially at critical times. But that's a different saga to talk about. So yeah, Deshaun Watson can kick rocks.
Yeah,
he
kick
really
rocks
can.
all the way around, I think, right?
I mean, huge.
Bye.
Huge.
Yep,
Bye
gotta
now.
go.
Bye.
Got to go.
Bye.
So and landing spot anywhere? No.
Who's really bad? Carolina?
Pompano.
No, Bryce
Pompano.
Young is fantastic. I saw that boy play.
Pompano has a lot of rub and
He good.
tugs. They're everywhere. Every corner there's one.
You're a
So
weirdo.
he can play for Pompano.
That's it. That's it.
He can be a coach for Coconut Creek High. And maybe slide
my
over to.
God, we've hit the lowest road. Okay,
Yeah.
we're going to take a quick break. We got Core 4 coming up.
We
in the
got
second
some
segment.
couple of games to break down.
Are you going to break down some games?
We got some games to break down.
The games that you like the most?
It's a couple of games we'll talk
Okay.
about. And of course we got the Core 4.
Okay.
Because we want to make some DFS cash.
So we're going to take a quick break. Gonzo Radio Sports Desk up right after this. No. I got this. That's okay. Welcome back to the Gonzo Radio Sports Desk. Yeah, I snuck up on them with the break, and they were totally unprepared to take a break.
I'm here.
And yeah, I know you're here.
I'm here. This
I know
guy,
you're
he
here.
had to go fix his hat.
I'm just glad he kept the bathroom door closed when he flushed the toilet. So it makes us a classy podcast.
On time.
On time. Yeah, on time.
So, back to
Wait, before we get into it, I need to remind the people, okay, coming up after the show, shortly after the show, I will be uploading the audio version of the show to SoundCloud and Spreaker. SoundCloud and Spreaker. Let me double check and make sure that I got this Spreaker upload. Hang on, but yeah, it'll be available on SoundCloud for those of you who want the audio version, which of course for those of you that may be driving around town with the windows down because the weather is beautiful here. Don't tell the tourists, please. Tourists. Yeah, it's on Spreaker. That's like speaker with an R stuck in the middle of it. So you check us out on those two platforms. I'll have it up before the end of the day. You can listen to it tonight. You can listen to it tomorrow morning, whatever you need. So you can put your bets down. You can put your fantasy lineups in, and as such. Okay, there. I've done our promo. Now, can we move on to the actual stuff?
Let's talk about some games.
Okay. Fire them up.
We kind of pre-showed and pre-weeked and looked at the schedule, and it's a wacky NFL still, right?
Wacky.
What are we, week 8 right now? Mm-hmm. And the storylines are plenty, and the failures are plenty.
Who sucks?
We're all disappointed in our
Who
fantasy
sucks? Who's the worst
teams,
team?
and we struggle every week at this.
Who's the worst team?
The worst team in the NFL?
Yeah.
Giants? Nah, they got a good defense. Got to be Carolina.
Yeah.
They can't win anything.
Yeah, well, they knew they couldn't win anything. They went out and got a rookie quarterback now.
That's 5'1".
Yeah, he's pretty small. So It's tough. We do our best. We spend a lot of time, that's for sure, breaking these games down. So we picked 4. Here's my 4 games. Let's start with the first one, and let's just get it out of the way. And it's only popular because of a little bit of a history. And you guys already know the game because of my change of tone when I start to talk about this team in particular. But Steelers are home to the Jags. Now, in my opinion, you have 2 teams that are vastly different. You have the actually, you know what? I'm going to say this. I think they're similar in the sense that there were high expectations or higher expectations for the Steelers for sure. And for the Jags, everybody anointed Trevor Lawrence as the league MVP this year coming into the year.
Well, look at that hair.
So Sunshine, to this point, has not really had a good year, in my opinion. I think Jacksonville, even though they're 5-2, offensively, they don't seem to be a juggernaut, to say the least, right? They're playing good football, I guess. They're not making a lot of mistakes. Ridley at times, first game of the season, he was in fuego, right? Had that monster week. And what does he have? I think that's his only touchdown since. I think he has maybe one more touchdown since week 1 or week 2.
He had 1 fantasy point last week.
Yeah, he just disappeared. It's a weird setup there in Jacksonville, but again, they're 5-2. There's history between these 2 teams, between the Steelers on the other side, my beloved Steelers,
Is that what you're calling them?
who could be the worst 4-2 team in the league right now. Their offense is just putrid, and what's keeping them in all the games has been their defense. So for this game to be competitive, it's the same story. It's the Steelers' defense, and it's a continuation of Jacksonville hopefully not clicking on all cylinders, and it's the Steelers being opportunistic in their pass rush, and making plays. Creating turnovers, short fields that will result in field goals and at least points on the boards. So, that's how the Steelers have to win these types of games. So, Steelers are sitting 4-2. Jags are sitting 5-2 to this point in the year. I don't know. I'm leaning Steelers, but again, the Jacksonville Jaguars we talked about teams last week that we feel like they're like kind of hovering and are ready to take that next step, and all of a sudden you're like, wow, that team is really good.
Yep.
Maybe because Steelers can't stop the pass either, unfortunately, in terms of big spots. So maybe this is the week Jacksonville's offense gets hot and wins. Who knows?
Jacksonville's defense needs just a little more beef. That's what it is. That's the whole problem with them, period.
Secondary, or you mean up front?
Up front, front seven, no less. I mean, Josh Allen is fantastic, but where do you go from there? You know what I'm saying? They need another playmaker. Simple as that. Okay. So, Johnny, you're on.
In the beginning of the season, I would have picked both of these teams to have their record, so I'm not surprised by their record. But after watching them play week to week, I don't know how they only have 2 losses. How are either team winning games right now? Like I said, I'm kind of conflicted on this because I think both these teams are equal in different ways. I will tell you this, though. If you look at Jacksonville, since they've gotten Lawrence, they start really slow in September. And then they really pick it up around this time, and they're doing it yet again. I mean, they put 31 points up last week, and I don't remember what they put up the week before, but I think it was 24 or 25. Mm-hmm. So they're averaging now like 27 over the last 2 weeks. This is what they've been doing since they got the kid. For some reason, they sleepwalk through the first month of the season, and then it just, let's go out there and score 30 points a game from now on. And it looks like they're doing it. Steelers, on the other hand, I like defensive football. And they still do have a good defense, and Gonzo's probably right. They probably need maybe one beefy linebacker or another really big defensive tackle, but they got a good defense. And
Cam Hayward is back this week, too, for the Steelers. That's big. Yep. He's missed the last 4 weeks. So perennial Pro Bowl, nose tackle. So
I did not know that.
That makes a difference.
He's
practicing. So that could be a difference, too. So
picking against the spread this year, I am 5-1 with Pittsburgh. I've done well with them, and this week I'm honestly going to go. I got to go against them. I got a feeling that the Jaguars are really
6-1.
They're picking. I mean, they're really picking up their offense here, even without Calvin Ridley doing anything. Like, that is the main guy when they picked up. I thought this is the guy that's going to put them over the top, and somehow they're winning games.
You know
like
what the irony
Christian
is?
Kirk.
Well, wait a second. I heard a stat about this about maybe it was Kirk or Ridley, but the irony is with Zay Jones on the field, the other two had better production. than when Zay Jones is off the field. Does that make any sense to you at all?
Well, he's
You
a
would
big
think with
target.
Zay Jones on the field, it would be less target share. They would do less, but it's actually the opposite. So it's a weird situation in Jacksonville right now. And like I said, I'm leaning Pittsburgh, a little bit emotional. I think, like I said, Cam Hayward, I believe, is coming back this week. He practiced. So it's been all defense. This is a game to me that's like a 21-17 type game. And whoever wins the turnover battle and doesn't make as many mistakes when they count is going to win this football game.
Are you a Pickett believer? Is this your guy for the future, long term, 7, 8, 10 years?
He's our guy right now for who we are, because we're not a Super Bowl team. Even if we had, let's say, another quarterback, a Herbert or a guy that you can put in that next tier, I still think we're maybe a piece or two away. But for now, I am, and I do think that there is a little room for improvement.
So is he more like a stopgap guy, or is he
I think he has a Kirk Cousins type ceiling where
It's pretty good ceiling.
Well, again, it depends. It's from a stat perspective, yes, but from a winning games perspective, not as much. So I think, again, he's a serviceable quarterback. He's young. He's familiar. You see, there's a lot of things that line up in his favor. This is his 7th season in that stadium. People don't realize that. He played for the University of Pittsburgh. He knows the town, the city, the stadium, the locker rooms, the coaching
Yeah,
staffs.
major comfortability. Yeah.
Where to get the good weed.
He knows everything, exactly. So when you talk about how important environment is in sports and you're a product of that in life as well, this kid's got the environment, right? Coaching and playing and their
All the
ability
hot
to
college girls are.
who drafts receivers better than the Steelers do? Nobody. So it's not for anybody's wrongdoings here but Kenny Pickett. So, there's a lot of pressure on this kid. This is the year. I'm not going to sit and wait. The NFL doesn't wait. This is not a 5-year plan for Kenny
I
Pickett.
hear
So this is it. This is where you need to be, unfortunately. And even if he's just mediocre, like we'll be at the end of the year, mediocre, we'll be in that mid-range of draft picks where it's like shit or get off the pot. And the Steelers will probably stay on the pot because that's what they do. They're loyal and to a fault.
Oh, I got a good one for you. A really good side question for you. This is a good one, too, because people have been asking. Do the Steelers pick up the 5th-year option on Najee Harris?
No, they don't because they have Jalen Warren and whoever else they can go get in the 4th or 5th round, which is what has been their MO over the last several years of drafting.
Once again,
So, yeah. They wasted
running-
Najee Harris's career, in my opinion, because
Yeah.
that
Sad,
offensive
too,
line
right,
was
man?
so bad.
Sad, man.
That offensive line was, and every year, when he's done with Pittsburgh, probably after this year, I'm going to go and look at the offensive line rankings for every year of his career. I know if Andrew was here, he'd be telling me, I told you so about Harris. Listen, environment, okay, if you can't block, you can't run.
Yep.
And all of the yardage leaders, year after year, if you look at them, their offensive lines, I'm sure none of them are ranked in the bottom 5 consistently like the Steelers have been outside of maybe this year and the latter part of last year. It's starting to come together. So, but for Najee, when he was playing, 3 years in a row, 26th, 27th, 20. These are pro football focus grades.
Right.
It's like, what are you doing? It's like just.
Yeah, he
But
had one
Tomlin
really
was
good year.
Tomlin's above 500 every year, so he's a great coach. So
He's also a defensive-minded guy, too. A lot of defensive-minded coaches don't have phenomenal offenses. It's just you can look around the league and you can see that. A lot of them don't care about the offensive line because they're defensive-minded coaches.
I think Tomlin should do Jeopardy. I think honestly, they should shoot Ken Burns and they should make him do Jeopardy. I think he'd be a great Jeopardy host. So,
First of all,
the shows would be 2 hours long, but he'd be a great Jeopardy host.
First of all,
I don't know. I fucking hate you. You
don't even start about Jeopardy. I don't even get started about that. But all right.
So over it.
So evidently, so emotional. Are you all right? Are you gonna cry? Are you gonna cry?
Because I thought ahead to what I just said about
you
how
gonna
the
cry?
Steelers.
I got a
the,
tissue for
the
you.
The Steelers will be 9-8 this year.
Okay.
They'll miss the playoffs, or maybe get in and get bounced in the first round. But whatever, it doesn't make a difference at that point, except for about maybe 4 or 5 draft picks. But that's what'll happen.
But the disgust in your voice is just
It's a realistic thing. It's not like I'm pulling stuff out of thin air. I mean, mark it down. What do we show 5, 6 this year? When we get to the end, you'll see, and it's just frustrating. That's all.
And it's usually how it works. Okay. Any other games you'd like to move on to?
We got a lot of games. Cincy and
Okay,
San
well, keep
Fran.
moving on here.
Cincy and San Fran. Brock Purdy.
Don't make me put on my black tank top.
2 weeks ago, I had a kick rocks about Purdy and against the rest of the league and how good he has been and how good he is, and now the Niners have lost 2 straight, and
he's been concussed.
And he's concussed, although that's a little weird about the whole 7-day concussion protocol, and they're thinking he may even play tomorrow somehow. So on the other side, you've got Cincinnati, another quarterback that's been dealing with injuries, but now they're coming out of a bye. They looked okay last week, right? I mean, Burrow was a couple of plays I saw late where he was running on a 3rd down attempt, and he was like a 14-yard scramble, and he looked okay. He outran a few guys. So, this extra week, Cincinnati picks up a little steam. They're in a good spot. I don't know. To me, I see 2 teams that could be going in different directions. And yet I think, San Fran's like a 5-point favorite in this game. So
I think they are, actually.
I will say this. I looked at some of the numbers, and San Fran is giving up just over 300 yards a game in the air passing. Now, I thought that number was a high number. It puts them only about 10th or 11th. There are teams that are much worse. So I think Burrow has a shot to have a really good game. I think Higgins is healthy. Obviously, Chase is good to go. So they should be at full tilt. And I see them coming out and just trying to throw the ball downfield. Old style Joe Burrow's, gunslinging type mentality and points on the board. So since he's sitting at 3-3, this is a big game for them. It's a road game, but it's a big game for them.
Huge.
So what do you think?
I told you guys when we talked about this Purdy thing that he's definitely more of a system quarterback than going out there and winning you games by himself, and this is being proven. He's a great quarterback in that system, but that system is now broken. 2 big pieces of that system are either not playing or they're hurt, McCaffrey and Debo. And you can see when both of those guys are out, the system completely changes, and now he looks human again. He looks because he's a system guy. At the end of the day, this is the week that you see Superman return. Burrow, after a bye week, feeling real healthy and good, been playing really good the last 2 weeks. Yes, I know 2 or 3 weeks ago we had to do a lot of dink and dunks, but they were really smart plays if you actually watched the game. Led his receivers. He's going to come out here. And you know what? It's hard because San Francisco, I think, they both need this game equally. Could you imagine being the Super Bowl favorites just 3 weeks ago and losing 3 in a row? I
don't think that's happened under Shanahan at all.
It's crazy, but I also don't see how they win. I just don't see how they win. Burrow, I think, comes out here with Jamar Chase, and they're going to Batman and Robin the living daylights out of these guys on defense. I think they are. I don't know, man. Like I said, Purdy's really good in that system, but the system is not the same. The puzzle pieces have switched, and now he doesn't know how to put it together. And I told you, he's very similar to like Achua. As much as I love the guy, you got to put him in the right spots. He's not a Dan Marino where he can just make all your guys good. He's just not going to do it.
So 5.5. Are you on Cincy or are you leaning?
Yeah, I'm still going to take Cincy at the 5. I mean, I got it written here at 5. If the line's moved since last night, I don't know. But, yeah man, I mean, even with San Francisco, I believe being home, God, man.
Well, the key stat that I hear out of Matt's mouth is that San Francisco defense is giving up a little over 300 yards passing. That could translate to 400 yards passing.
Or 375, absolutely.
With Burrow feeling, my calf is nice. It feels nice. Feel really good.
I just don't see a game script where San Fran pounds them. So
exactly. And T. Higgins is also going to have another week of 2 weeks of rest. Yeah. He's been back practicing. He's been back in games. But you could see he was a little off, but he felt, medically cleared. But now he's had 2 weeks. Okay, which, a 24-year-old guy got 2 weeks to walk off a broken leg. Mm-hmm. So I would definitely look for...
You know what? This is my game of the week, and I'll tell you why.
31-20. How about that?
Cincinnati?
Yeah.
Wow.
31-20.
You know what's fair is that's a big win in San Francisco. We're giving them no respect.
31.
But this isn't the same San Fran team that was a world beater also.
But we're gauging that on just a couple of weeks, and that's not fair to do it. But I will say this, that...
What is high definition camera, man? I love it.
San Francisco, I mean, they were in the Super Bowl. I mean, it's like, and Cincinnati's limping or was limping to this point. We're assuming things are going to happen and then creating an outcome. I feel that there are 3 scenarios that all work in Cincinnati's favor. Like you said once, one is they win the game. Okay, they're the better team that day. 2 is they're competitive and they stay within that cover, right? Because again, San Fran's air defense, can be beat, and Cincinnati looks like they're getting better.
4 deep at wide receiver, including the Irwin kid.
And the third scenario is What if Cincinnati is just outside the cover and they get that late garbage cover, which you know they're going to keep slinging it until there's no time on the clock? So 5.5 is a big number for a team that really is explosive offensively, and I just feel like this is one of those games where there's too many things pointing in Cincy's favor. So I'm on Cincy in this one, guys, and it seems like you guys are too.
Yeah, and McCaffrey actually was averaging 4.7 yards a carry. In the last 2 weeks, it's down to 3.8. It's just that whole team is starting to take a step back here, and I just don't see how.
Got to protect them ribs.
I just don't see how they just automatically just turn it on like that against a very good Cincinnati Bengals team. They're 3-3, but remember that Burrow was a shell of himself the first 3 or 4 weeks or whatever. This team would easily be 5-2, 6-1.
He sucked it up and got out there and played. Is what he did.
Yeah, I did.
So I got Cincy too, man.
All right, next game, guys. Rams-Cowboys. It's another good one. Home game for the Cowboys. I'm not a Dak apologist by any stretch, but I think that if they lose, it's on Dak. If they win, it's this whole system type thing where, he wasn't responsible for it, but he just did enough to not make them lose. I mean, this is a team game, guys. I think Dallas in this spot is the better team than the Rams are, even though the Rams offensively look like Stafford really hasn't missed a beat, right?
No, he's got a lot of weapons.
Nobody thought that they would be as good as they are without Kupp, and now that Cooper Kupp is back and looks like he hasn't missed a beat, but the Rams are still sitting at 3-4. And I think that's.
What do you mean? Wait. Still sitting. What do you mean? Wait. The Rams were predicted to be a freaking disaster.
We all said it the first week.
Especially if Cooper Kupp was going to miss half the season, which he only missed, 2 games? Mm-hmm. Okay. But everybody was
No, he missed like 3 or 4.
3 or 4?
Yeah, 4.
But everybody was expecting him to be out until December.
Right. And not to be able to be as effective.
And they're only 3
But what
or
I'm
4,
saying is that despite how good they've been offensively, they are 3-4.
The defense got old.
They're having some issues on that side.
And no run game. No healthy running backs at all.
Yeah.
They have a running game. They just keep losing running backs because running backs keep breaking.
First 4 weeks of the season, everybody was on the Cowboys defense and how good they were. Diggs goes down. And now
Myles Gaskins did not start last week.
I know, and they said it was going to go. And that was a horrible play, too.
Who's that source? Who is that source? I want
2 or 3 of them.
I want to out that source.
Killing me right now.
I want to out them. They don't know shit. So go ahead.
Cowboys, they need this game. This is a game that when they looked at their schedule at the beginning of the year, they were like, win.
Yeah, you got to win this one.
This is a W. So, again, we talked last week about how they have to keep pace with Philly. This is a game that it's a home game for the Cowboys. The spread is, I think, what do you have it at? 6.5?
It is 9.5.
Nine
Oh, no,
and
that's
a-
Dolphins. My bad. That wasn't Dallas.
I saw 6.5 or 7.
Might be 6.5 actually.
Okay,
yeah.
so 6.5. Again, it's a touchdown, and that is doable in this situation. As good as the Rams' offense has been, the Dallas Cowboys still have a good defense. And if they get this into a positive game script where Dallas has the lead, and like we've talked about, the Rams continually are forced to throw the football, Stafford's not really fleet of foot, their offensive line's not great. Micah could have one of those games where he's on the map again, even though he's been on the map because he can't shut up. But maybe he'll back it up and get a couple of big sacks, maybe a forced fumble type thing, and Cowboys defense.
Stafford starts seeing things like him jumping out of his refrigerator and sacking him in the middle of his kitchen, things like that.
Like if this game is like 21-3 early, and it could very well be, Cowboys get some breaks and whatever. Then it's going to be a long day for the Rams, and I'm definitely on the Cowboys here.
Well, speaking of the Cowboys, and I hate to be tangential to this, but the trade deadline's coming up, and there's a lot of trade speculation. This guy's going there, this guy's going there, but it seems that the Cowboys are in the market for a running back. So which of these tradable running backs that are out there do you think are a Dalvin Cook or a Derrick Henry? Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Which one of them do you think is going to actually end up in Dallas?
None.
Either or, neither?
Agree.
None.
Henry's
Neither?
contract is massive.
None. Yeah, I know. I understand
and
that.
Again, he's an eight. I mean, it's not like. I mean, I'm not sure because maybe Dallas can find a way to go in, all in for 1 year type thing with the Henry deal. That's how would have to be approached. But they'd have to be a huge sacrifice on the backside. Yeah,
and that's the only scenario I see.
Hey, and Jerry Jones has done that. And Jerry Jones has done that before.
Yeah.
He did that with Deion Sanders. Okay, he did that with Deion Sanders. He was a 1 year loaner. Okay, and then it was only a 1 year contract. And Sanders signed another because he wanted to run it back.
But he's also Jerry Jones is pretty honest about what he says, and he has been lately saying that we don't need to get better. We need to play better. So, because he was asked
And I
about
agree with
certain
him on that,
things
too.
about trading and stuff like that. So there's some loyalty there too. Pollard hasn't played bad.
No.
The question is whether or not he can be in between the tackles guy. And again, I'm not breaking down game tape. I don't
But
know this for
every
sure.
team needs two good running backs.
No, and that's a problem. But that's not on Pollard necessarily. That's just on an organizational thing, not getting that second guy.
Okay.
And I don't know what it's worth at this point to have to go out and get a guy like a Henry or a Dalvin Cook, especially who's not happy right now. But even Dalvin Cook, he had to have known that he
Stop
was
with this
not
Dalvin
going to
Cook
come in.
crap. Oh my God! this
What does
guy's
he
not
want?
Oh my God!
Does he want 15 touches? Does he want to play ahead of Bryce Hall? Are you kidding me?
He is not half the running back right now as Bryce Hall
It's
is.
probably-
Brees Hall.
Brees Hall. Me and you both.
I'm going Bryce. You go Brees.
He's a
Tomato,
Brees.
tomato. Anyway, my point is he's not as good as either of those guys. And
Mama
it's-
named him Brees. I'm gonna call him Brees.
It's just not the case. So yeah, so I'm on this game, guys. I'm pro Cowboys. I'm pro the defense in this spot. I think they make some bigger plays when it matters, and I'll eat the points. I'll eat the 6.5.
This is one of my money plays this week because I actually agree with you on a lot of things with the Cowboys, but just like the Steelers and Rams last week, I mean, I went based off of just feeling and what I was seeing, and I think the Rams, after losing to the Steelers last week, are going to be competitive. Now, whether they win the game or not, I'm not going to quite call that, but 6.5 points, that offense, no digs. Only thing that really concerns me is that there is nobody that can even come close to competing on that offensive line with Parsons. It really worries me that he might get through for 4 sacks by himself. Still, again, there's really no reason to do this, but I'm going to take the Rams to cover the spread and possibly win the game. Now, Cooper Kupp had a really bad game last week, I believe. He did not. If you compare him to the other two games, they weren't even the same. With no digs out there to stop this guy, I don't know if you guys know anything about route running, but Kupp is one of the greatest to do it.
I route run all the time.
And I saw you.
I was in the parking lot before route running.
Yeah, 9 targets, no catches.
A's,
Listen,
B's, C's. Yeah,
But-
I had to work up a sweat before the show.
I
am.
ran a fade just to get in here.
And
You have a nice fade going on here, too.
Shout
man.
out.
And you know what? This could also be, Dak Prescott is very flaky. And if he gives the Rams opportunities,
Flaky.
they will
Flaky.
capitalize
Is
on
that
this.
2 Ks? F-L-A-K-K?
No, it's
No,
F-L-A-K-Y.
K, yep, 1K.
Okay.
That's flaky.
Okay.
No multiple
No
strikeouts
pun
here.
intended. Okay. Sorry.
But I'll take Rams with the 6.5 points right now. I think they cover the spread and possibly even win.
Okay. Fair enough.
Surprise.
All right.
Last game, guys.
I'll go Cowboys late in points.
Oh, you're in there?
Late in points.
So you're a smart guy with the fade. I like
Well,
it.
late in points because I think that you have the Rams. They're in a down year. It's just a down year. It's just as simple as that. I think that the Cowboys, this is an identity game. They need to separate themselves from teams like the Rams, which are going to finish in the 8-9, 7-10 range. Okay, they're not going to finish over 500. So if you're an above 500 team, if you're a team that expects to win 10, 11, 12 games, then guess what? You got to beat these guys. Period. They got one guy on defense left. Okay, one guy. That's all they got. You guys all know exactly who he is. Okay, we don't even need to talk about AD. All right, so. Yeah, I say lay it. I say we're looking at a score in the mid-30s for the Cowboys. I think that you will be entertained for 3 quarters, but then you look at that third sack, that fourth sack coming from the defense, whether it be Micah Parsons or be because of Micah Parsons, because he creates so much havoc. The other guys eat like crazy.
Yeah, it's going to be the defense is going to be the difference.
Exactly.
So.
So I'm seeing another scenario of 34-24, 34-21.
Enough to cover the spread.
Stafford, listen, Stafford and Kupp are going to eat. Stafford and Puka are going to eat. Hell, Stafford and Tutu Atwell, they're going to eat. Okay? We're talking about a prototypical route running machine with size and a little bit of speed and great hands. Hall of Fame almost level type of career right now with Kupp. Okay? And an up-and-coming guy with Puka Nakua, and then Tutu Atwell, who is this little speed guy who can run a 4.2 and isn't afraid, by the way, to go over the middle. Kid weighs like 182 pounds. and he's going over the middle and getting wrapped by 210-pound safeties. I'm like, kid's tough. That's all I can say. There's a reason why they drafted him as high as they did.
Still got Higgins at tight end.
Yeah, of course.
You know?
He's one of those ubiquitous tight ends. He's just always there, and he always has a very good. His floor is very high, and his
Ubiquitous.
ceiling is very low.
No. Okay, so
2-2 Atwell.
no, ubiquitous.
I feel like I'm on
Ubiquitous.
the show with
spelling
Stephen A.
wrong.
Smith.
I'm
Ubiquitous.
sorry. Don't even say that name.
Ubiquitous.
The only reason why I cheer for the Cowboys is it keeps Stephen A. Smith from having something.
Can
fun
you
to do.
tell me the word origin of ubiquitous? The word origin.
It's
Use it in a
ubiquitous.
sentence.
Can you use it in a sentence, please? Okay. We have another game.
Stephen A. Smith is
Last game.
ubiquitous in his ability to annoy
And
me.
the only reason why I picked this game was because I did. And it's just because I did. Giants, Jets, 2 New York teams. I mean, now these other 3 games we talked about, they really matter. This game, I don't think it really matters in terms of where these teams
It matters to New
are
York,
gonna
and New
be-
York is everything.
Yeah, so this is a Jets Giants. The good thing is that both teams know where the stadium is, so there won't be any problems getting there.
Oh my God.
And
So you're saying they're going to show up?
the Jets are 3-3, and I really do believe that Jets fans are holding on. That really think that this team is going to have like a successful
You
ending.
can do it.
It's like Jet fans they're basically on the cliff's edge with one hand, and they've got 2 fingers, and there's a guy that's on top of the cliff, like got a pen, is going to poke that last finger and make him fall. This could be the week. No, but the Giants on the other side, they're just bad, and they're still bad, and they're not going to get better. So we know who they are. The Jets' defense is what they've been winning with. So I don't even. It's hard to even predict this game. Looking at the numbers, the Jets are the better team. Okay, that's
Yep.
minus the quarterback position. Trying to remove myself from the whole Aaron Rodgers thing because it's in stone. This is who the Jets are. The Jets are a better team than the Giants are. There's no question, right?
Yeah.
The Jets have a better defense than the Giants. There's no question. There is no home field advantage here because, again, it's one stadium, 2 teams. So, I mean, regardless of what you look at in terms of, I think Giants are favored in this game, 1.5.
No, the Jets are 3-point favorites.
See,
Jets.
I have no. See, mine was earlier in the week. It was 1.5. So that line's even moving to the Jets.
Yeah, because
So let's assume currently it's a 3-point favored Jets. It's a field goal. To me, that's enough, honestly. With mediocre quarterback play, there's no Daniel Jones on the other side, which I kind of hope he was playing because
now do you know that for a fact? Because as of last night, they did not know if they were starting Tyrod or not.
everything I've seen has been Tyrod to this point.
Okay, and I think he gives them a better chance to win
And
it.
that's why I'm saying,
Yeah,
if you're a
he
Jets
just
fan,
does.
you're secretly blowing fresh oxygen into Daniel Jones's room to get him as healthy as he could be so he can play.
Send him over to my chiropractor.
Yeah, okay. Somebody called Deshaun Watson, give him his masseuse therapist. It's a story of 2 different teams, and the Jets are a better team than the Giants are. In that case, I'm taking the Jets. I'm laying whatever it is, 1.5, 2 points, 4 points, 3 points, whatever the hell it is.
So you're taking the Jets?
I'm taking the Jets.
Oh, me? Okay, I was going to say I'm 100% smashing the Jet button.
Yeah.
Like, there's the Giant with Tyrod Taylor. It gives them a better chance to win, but it's not like you're bringing in, Michael Vick. Like, this isn't a guy that's going to beat you by himself. And who is he throwing to? I'm going to keep saying this about the Patriots and Giants. Who the hell do these guys have that you're throwing the ball to? Shepard? Like, the Jets defense is going to
Shepard.
absolutely wrap these guys up. And I think that even with the Jets not scoring a whole lot of points, they're not going to need it. I'll be surprised if the Giants get more than 13 points in this game with that defense and that offense. And you know what? Quarterback for quarterback, even with Tyrod, I think at this point, with Zach playing a little bit better than initially, I think that he's even a better quarterback slightly than Tyrod. Take away the running game that Tyrod brings, and quarterback for quarterback, I'll take the Jets quarterback at this point. And they have
Wilson?
at least one really good receiver. The Giants don't have anybody.
I will say this about Zach Wilson. He has to know that he's running out of opportunities, right?
Oh, 1,000%.
And then he has to know that this opportunity that he has now is probably his last with the Jets, right?
Yes.
In terms of his starting quarterback position, because it either goes one of 2 ways. He either continues to develop perhaps and play well and they win, and maybe the Jets on the back of the defense are in a position at the year and
Wild card it maybe.
whatever, who knows, depending on this. So maybe there is a success story for him. But the other side of this is that it continues to go south. He continues to act immaturely, say the wrong things. They don't win. And at the end of the year, they're in the draft looking for a quarterback.
I'll also say this about what you said earlier about the Jets fans, that they're holding on to this hope. There's probably good reason for that, to be quite honest with you, because you look at players like Jalen Ramsey from the Dolphins, who weren't supposed to come back until December 13th or 14th, somewhere in that area. He's beating that time clock by 4 to 6 weeks. Now, Aaron Rodgers is talking about coming back in the same fashion. So let's say that you're a 500 ball club with 5 games left and Rodgers comes back. There is a chance for you to backdoor sneak into the playoffs.
Aaron Rodgers is not playing football this year.
I agree with you.
Yeah, he's not playing football this year. He's a 41-year-old man who, even though he's in good shape, that sort of injury is a devastating injury. And I don't care how the doctors and the treatments, and it's better, and I've heard all this stuff.
It's like I said before. I don't know if anybody here has ever tweaked their Achilles tendon.
No, thank God.
Or the muscle attached to it in your calf. If you've ever tweaked it, painful.
It just comes down to if they're planning on running Rodgers back next year.
Yeah.
And if they're planning on doing that,
there has got to
regardless
be
of how they
risk.
are, regardless of where they're sitting this year, end of the year,
There's
even if
gotta
they're a
be
playoff
zero
team,
risk of him re-injuring
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
It's got to be
it's-
zero risk of him not being able to protect himself.
Because again, in their mind, in his mind, maybe they don't just have 1 year with Aaron after the injury. Because remember, his whole body gets to rest now 1 year,
Right. Well,
not just the Achilles.
Listen, that's why he made the contract concessions that he did. He plans on playing 2 more years.
Okay, but maybe this enables him to get there because he
Okay.
gets to rest the rest of his body as
Oh,
well.
I don't doubt it.
Okay, so again, this is something they're looking, I think, in terms of the future. I don't think they bring him back, regardless of wherever they're standing at that time. So, but it's the NFL and owners and coaches and whatever, and it's a now league, so win now type of thing. And maybe Aaron says, yeah, I'm good to go. Let's go.
Well, my take is that we are going to see another game where the Jets defense wreaks havoc, just havoc, absolute mayhem. It's just a matter of will they shut the Giants out, or they keep the Giants? Well, they're definitely going to keep the Giants under 10 points, 10 points or less. I'd be willing to take a prop bet on that. Okay, 10 points or less. Give me 9.5. I'll take the under.
I'll bet you right now.
Okay, I'll take the under.
Coffee next week.
Okay, I'll take it. I'll
10
take
points?
that all day. 10 points. Going to hold the Giants under 10 points.
Wow, that's crazy.
That's why I said 13, because I don't.
10 is
The
not a
10
lot of
is.
points. It's the NFL.
Yeah.
But
You sure?
Under 10
it's
points.
possible.
I'll give
Under.
you a chance to pull it
Under.
back right here in front
And
of everybody.
here's another one for you fantasy football players. If you have the New York Jets defense, expect 15 or more points.
Yeah. No. I'm
15 or
100%
more.
on
That's
top
coffee
of it.
for you.
I'm
15 or more.
100% on it.
We're talking a turnover return for a touchdown. We're talking multiple sacks.
7 sacks maybe.
At least
yeah.
one interception.
Wow.
I'm on the Jets defense heavy with them.
They
no
are
doubt.
going to
Yep.
friggin' maul the Giants.
All right. Well, then
They're
let me-
going to maul the Giants.
Let me cancel my Tyrod Taylor jersey
Cancel
order.
your Tyrod Taylor
I just
jersey.
ordered the jersey
Let
just
me
now.
tell you.
I got to cancel that shit.
Let me tell you
So-
something, okay? As much as I hate that team, and I hate New York, Buffalo, and New England all with the same
Vigor
disdain,
and vinegar and.
disdain, just DISDAIN, disdain. Okay,
Can you use it in a sentence, please?
venomous disdain?
Right.
I barely respect the Patriots because they've won 9 million of Super Bowls, but the Jets have a great defensive coordinator for a head coach, and they have not only are they a really, really good, an elite level defense, but they're deep. They're deep. They got a lot of guys. They just don't have one guy. They don't have 2 guys, 3 guys, or 1 guy on each level. They're deep on all levels. So you're running into a buzzsaw.
Yep.
Okay. Short of running Saquon Barkley and Matt Breida 40 times to keep yourself from getting killed. Okay, and they'll even find a way to strip those guys and take the ball away and run and turn around and bring it back for a touchdown. I'm telling you, this is going to be one of those maul games, and the Jets are going to maul the Giants.
That's the only game
Period.
script I see them actually covering this spread is by running the ball successfully. But damn, you can't do that against
No.
that front four,
No.
man. I don't care who you
No.
got. Like, I don't care who you got.
Once again, I hate them, but I speak from respect for football.
Yeah, I hear you.
Quinnen Williams,
Yeah.
best defensive tackle in the NFL.
He's
Period.
up- he's up there.
He's shot right past Aaron Donald. Aaron's old. Let's face it. Aaron is ancient as far as football players are concerned. What's he, 36, 35?
What about Carter from the
he's
Eagles?
old head. No,
Chris Jones.
Close. Jalen Carter is going to be
What about Chris Jones?
the best defensive tackle, best
It's
defensive
tough.
lineman.
He's in the conversation.
He's in the conversation. Okay, but young man is this is his first year. He's still got old heads ahead of him.
Even your guys in the conversation.
Okay.
It's tough to assess.
Oh,
It's
you
tough.
can't. I mean, I saw firsthand yesterday. I mean, I've watched a few Eagles games, and one of the guys who worked with Bill, he's a big Eagles fan, and we discussed Jalen Carter, and I told him, I said, you guys got the steal of the draft, even at 10, you got the steal of the draft. That guy should have been number 1. That guy's a monster. He's the next coming of Jerome Brown, and that's high praise. Okay, Hurricane fan. That's the next coming of Jerome Brown right there. That's that guy. He, on a couple of occasions, ragdolled Liam Eichenberg. Okay, Liam
saw that.
As much as he sucks, he is a grown-ass man.
Yes.
He is 6'4", 315 pounds,
Chucked him.
and he got beat like a child
Yes.
on more than one occasion.
It's
Okay,
scary.
it was alarming. I was about to say, hey, y'all need me to come up there and play center? At least he'll knock me on my ass, but he'll trip over me as he runs by. You know, I take up space. But that dude was a beast. But I'm back on Williams. Williams has been dominating games, taking them over. Him and his brother, taking them over. God, I hate the Jets. But those, I mean, you're not going to be able to run 40 times, even if it's just give up and run.
No.
If that's a surrender, it's not going to work.
They might average
you're gonna-
3.1 yards a carry or something.
Two,
maybe. Yeah,
2.1
they're
yards.
not gonna
You're
get much
going to
else
have
in that
40
run game.
carries for 82 yards. Okay, you're not going to go anywhere. It ain't going to happen. So yeah, we're looking at a bit of a beat down here. I mean, it may be a low scoring game, but I don't think it's going to be a low scoring game. I think that the Jets are slowly but surely rallying around their young quarterback.
Don't call me Shirley.
I think that I think that Wilson is learning better because he has Rodgers in the building. He is taking that mentorship. You see a bit of calm to the kid now. Okay, I mean, he's never going to have the California cool. Okay, that Rodgers has, the snarky,
Surely you can't be serious.
Shirley, don't call me Shirley. So what you're seeing is a maturation process. How fast that comes to be, comes to fruition here that's right, fruition. Go ahead, write it down. Big words. Another dollar in a big word jar.
F.
RUITION, fruition.
Yes, go ahead.
Jeez.
Hey, we got core 4. We got money to be
You
made.
went to
Hey,
college.
let's go make some money. We got money to be made. Take a break,
my
get some
God.
money. Come back and
Okay.
make some money.
I'm big heading them.
Core 4.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with the core 4, and I'm going to come up with another fancy word to confuse Matt and John right after this. The Gonzo Radio Sports Desk.
We live by another day. We live by another day.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
We better get going. God knows what the team is doing with just Farmer Fran watching them.
Dios me está, Bobby Boucher on the beer, call that wrong way, reclamación from Bobby Boucher time.
Gonzo Radio. I'd still get a rugby coach. Welcome back to the Gonzo Radio Sports Desk. We couldn't help ourselves. Nobody had to run to the bathroom or anything for this one, so we were talking about the tush push and about how it can be stopped. And me, of course, last week I said hire a rugby coach to show you how to defend a scrum at least a stalemate. but
I came up with a few ways to stop the tush push.
what's that?
14 stitches. I ended up in the emergency room.
Yikes.
No photos for that. So,
Yikes! Yeah, thank God. Wait, I got a picture here. I got video. I got a clip here.
14 effing stitches.
Here's a clip. Here's a clip from Matt trying to stop the tush push. You guys are actually looking.
Oh, I thought there was a clip. I was like, where was the camera?
Listen, the bottom line is,
thought I was
bottom line
alone.
is this: the NFL is going to have to change the formation rules one way or the other. Okay, you're either going to have to allow the defense to layer their players like the tush push does, okay, or you're going to have to tell the offense you can't layer players like the tush push does. Okay, it's as simple as that. Because
we need to change that to just
just
TP. Let's just call it TP from now on.
tush push.
Yeah, I'm not comfortable with that.
Toilet paper now?
Just
Or
no, just
Is
TP.
it the homophobic implications?
I'm not sure what's coming out to me right now. I'm just not comfortable with the term tush push. That's all. I'm just not.
Well, they call it the brotherly shove too.
it's better.
There you go.
Well, Philadelphia's always got to come up with something. You know,
That's
I mean,
better.
they're perennial bridesmaid, the city of bridesmaids.
So how many of us
I heard that, by the way.
do DFS?
Nasty ass.
Me.
Who farted?
How many of us enjoy DFS?
I'm gonna burn that chair.
Oh, me. Okay, so let's have
How
some
many of
fun.
them are good? How many of us are good at DFS?
Let's have some fun.
This show is off the rails.
I basically spent a week trying to find 4 guys for everybody because
Core 4.
I'm going to be honest. The last couple of weeks, I think I've had a core 1.5 has been my average. So I'm up for redemption. Just like everybody has bad stretches, bad weeks, bad days. I've had a couple of bad weeks here in my core 4. That will not happen this week. Because I talk about opportunity. If you do not get opportunity to make plays, you do not score fantasy points, and you are not relevant to me. So I went through guys this week
So mean.
to find players that get opportunities. And I got some guys here.
Awesome.
So let's go. Opportunities. None better than this guy right here, Alvin Kamara. Averaging 14 targets, 8 targets, 12 targets. The guy's a running back. Okay, that's over the last 4 weeks. Not to mention he's getting an average of 15 rushes per game over that stretch. It's a lot of touches, a lot of work.
He is the New Orleans offense.
Yeah, his salary is creeping, but that's all it's doing. He's at 7.3K on DK, so $7,300. He is in my core 4. Number 2, I wish Andrew was here once again, but I'm sure he's listening. Mr. Drake London. Okay, here's another guy averaging
Young man's on a hot streak.
9 targets a week last 4 weeks. Targets opportunity. He's also getting some red zone looks as well. Tennessee's not good stopping the pass. They've also lost another guy in the secondary this week during practice. They are thin as it
Traded
is.
Byard.
This again, I'm not scared. Nobody really is scared of Desmond Ridder and Atlanta's offense because they primarily do run the ball. But again, if he's still getting his 9 targets, he gets one of those in the end zone. He's having a big week. He's at 5.1K.
Okay.
So $5,100. He's cheap. Next guy. This is a reach, guys. But again, opportunities comes about price point. Elijah Moore. He was pretty high on some expert draft boards earlier in the year when we were all picking our teams. He was a late round flyer. He's a guy that's always been talented, just hasn't got the right spot. 8 targets for the last 5 games. $4,100. Seattle's pass defense is terrible. They're ranked 31st in the league. So
Yeah.
it's about opportunity there, and that game should be positive game script, means throwing the ball, because that's what they're going to have to do.
Do you really trust PJ Walker that much?
It's not a matter. It's just opportunity. Again, I don't care. In terms of a guy that's $4,100 getting 8 to 9 targets, converts on 5 or 6 of those targets, and again, if they get into the end zone, it's just. I mean, it's explosions.
Yeah, but 2 of those targets are going to be one-hoppers off their ankles.
Okay, well, he just has to catch 5 of them. At $4,100, 4X, which is an amazing multiplier, 16
Yes,
points.
That's a good multiplier.
You know, and
I'll give you that.
And again, if he goes for 5 and 60, that's 11. That's 3X. That's also a pretty strong multiplier.
By the way, last week PJ Walker hit a wide receiver in the ass.
Okay. Well, I mean, again, we're talking about tush push.
wasn't
so
looking,
maybe he was
and
trying
he
to
hit
come
him
up with a
in the
different way to
ass.
stop that too. I
So
haven't
go
tried
ahead.
that yet. The old football tush push. And my last guy. I'm on Drake London. I might as well be on the quarterback, although I did make a change. So I'm going to throw 2 guys at you, let you guys decide.
Turn the fucking fan on.
Desmond Ridder, another guy, $5,100. He's averaging 23 fantasy points over the last 3 weeks. Okay, that's 4.5x multiplier. I'll take it. Give me that tomorrow, and I'm golden. But if you want huge upside tomorrow, and you can't believe he's this cheap, it's only $6K. We talked about him, Joe Burrow.
Doesn't?
Joe Burrow,
Yeah, dude, if you're playing DraftKings, that is my
$6K
guy right
tomorrow.
there.
And you know what? People are going to look at San Fran, and they're going to be like, I'm not playing Joe Burrow.
Oh, no.
Ow, my calf. Ow, my... Joe Burrow tomorrow will be a less than 10% owned guy and has the potential to go for 30 easily plus fantasy points.
Light you up like a Christmas tree.
Yeah, so Joe Burrow is my tournament high flyer guy. Definitely huge upside. Ritter doesn't have quite that upside, but Burrow definitely has that upside. And at $6K for tournament play, when you're looking for that upside, Burrow is going to be the guy you're going to go for. So,
I'm going to start out with Burrow, actually. Now, you guys might be wondering sometimes why mine and the Maz's Core 4 might be so different. We really do play two different games almost, and I'm going to explain why. When you hear 5,100 for Ritter, that is a great value if you can get him for 5,100. Unfortunately, on FanDuel, he's damn near 7,000. So that means I have to get 21, 22, 23 fantasy points from him to even feel good about it. All he needs is 15. So at the end of the day, you got to go off of what the price points are. And I like how we do this because you're getting both angles. Burrow, I'm still taking Burrow. He's only 6,000 in DraftKings, and I think that's a steal. He's 7,400 in FanDuel, but still, like you said, and like Gonzo said earlier, he could very well have 375 and 3 touchdowns, and you're going to be ecstatic.
Light him up.
I am gonna actually pick him and Chase together. I think that I don't have to explain that. I mean, these guys just find each other.
if one
all the
goes
time.
off, the other usually goes off,
I
too.
mean, it's just going to happen.
usually
I
a
mean, you
pair.
got to look at Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey last week. I mean, that type of stuff happens with these guys often. And I'm with you on two of your guys. Now, one of them I'm going to take because I know how the guy is playing, Kamara. I'm big on Kamara. And usually when me and you do this together, those guys roll. Last week was Gibbs. The week before or something was Hall and Connor. I think Kamara has another big game. Same thing that Maz is telling you. He is the entire offense right now, guys. I believe on fantasy, on FanDuel, he's somewhere in like the 7,900 to 8,000 range. I'm still taking him. All they do is pass the ball to him, and then he runs, 15 carries and like another 10 catches?
Yeah, he could get
I mean,
30 touches,
yeah.
28 to 30 touches in this game. That's insane.
They move the ball too, man. The Saints move the ball. They just have their red zone offense is horrendous. That's the only thing that worries me a little bit, but they still put up, 24 points last week, so I'll take Kamara for a TD also. And listen, man, Maz, you are so big on this guy, Drake London, and I do not pick him every week, and he hasn't really blown up.
Drake London is a
At
top
all.
5 talent receiver in the league. I'm not going to debate that. I mean, I listened to the guys talk about him.
I won't
and
listen to your heresy.
He is a top 5 receiver in the league.
And listen, Ritter is playing so much better his last 2 to 3 games. I mean, listen, I'm still not a full believer in him, but I can be pulled in if you're playing this good week to week to week to week and putting them together. I think this is possibly the week where London goes off for 21, 22, 23 fantasy points. He might be reversing the most banged up secondary in like the history of football right now. Like, I don't even know who these guys are playing over in Tennessee, right?
Yeah, and honestly, London, again, is going to be very soon, he'll be on that list of guys that are matchup proof, in my opinion. Now, that it is Ritter, it is the Falcons, they do run the ball, I get all that. But you're putting London on any team with any other quarterback, and he's in the discussion every
I was just
week.
going to say the same
Every
thing.
week.
Yeah,
So,
he might be.
So in spots like this where it's, again, you're playing Tennessee, Ritter's playing well, it's all pointing towards
Yeah,
towards
and
Drake
Atlanta's
London.
defense isn't bad. I think that they can stop Tennessee and give them a lot of opportunities to get London the ball. And I'm
About
with him.
pricing.
Yeah.
London's being priced as a bottom third receiver, and he's not.
And he's 6,800 on FanDuel, I believe. So he's still worth it.
Yeah.
6,800, I'll take 18,
Yeah.
19, 20. I could see it happening.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And what's your fourth? Is that what your fourth?
Yeah, those are all 4. You got
Well, there you go.
Chase, Burrow, Kamara.
London.
And we have Kamara and Burrow in London in common, right?
We're
Kind
both
of.
on Burrow. We have Kamara and London in common.
Yeah, those are guaranteed.
I'm taking a flyer with Elijah Moore
Okay.
because he's so damn cheap.
And your fourth was,
It was Chase, Burrow, Kamara, and London.
Yeah.
So Burrow and Chase
and you
together.
are more Burrow.
London, Kamara, and a little bit of Burrow, and I get Ritter as well. So
Oh, so you have a core 6,
He's got a core 12, guys.
core 4.5.
core 12.
Because I've been so bad, I wanted to put an extra player there. Give me a
He's
chance.
cheating.
Yeah, so it's core
Oh my
4.5.
God.
6,000. I don't know what they're thinking.
For Burrow, it's cheap.
Jesus
He's like the
Christ,
14th
that's a
price
steal,
quarterback.
All right. Well, that Burrow is definitely. I'm gonna go put a lineup together for him right now because I'm never gonna go against you guys ever again. Especially with Andrew here, I'm never going against your picks. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna pick any of those guys.
What is
So
the-
you with the yellow shoes over there, are you okay? Quit showing off your shoes. You're like some sort of shoe whore. So okay, well, Maddie, before we go,
Yeah.
okay, we've already spotted you a game. Who's gonna win the World Series?
Hell yeah.
Rangers or Diamondbacks? Easy, don't get crazy.
Dallas Garcia is a Cuban beast right now.
Cubano, viva.
12 games career postseason he's played so far. He's got 20 RBIs.
Man.
Okay, 20
Monster.
RBIs in 12 games.
Including a walk-off monster bomb at the bottom of the 11th.
He's
last
slugging
night to win the
750.
game.
His OPS is 1100 right now. That's in 12 career postseason games. Small sample size, but big enough for me.
Just start rolling him the ball.
He has 4 home runs in his last 4 games. The
Yeah,
dude's
don't let him
unbelievable.
hit.
I mean, it's incredible. So, yeah, he has a big walk-off last night. Rangers win. Man, it's tough. Arizona's not going to roll over, though. Arizona's been playing it very emotionally. That was a tough game. They were down in most of that game, came back and tied it. And then Texas obviously went ahead and won it in the 11th.
Right. Well, that's the tale of two teams right there.
Yeah.
Okay, it's as simple as that. You have the scrappy Arizona Diamondbacks, which do not give up. They have great elements on the team. They have great defense. They have a great bullpen, and you have the Texas Rangers, which will bomb the crap out of you.
Yeah, they're like the Phillies in the way where they
Yeah.
got guys in the lineup that can just murder you. You know,
Yeah.
Seager and Adalis and Simeon and Mitch Garver and Jonah Heim, all these guys, they rake.
And they have
So-
they have strong starting pitching. They have strong middle relief. They
Yeah,
have small. They have
Scherzer
strong
is
closers.
the wild card. If they can get one good start out of him, they'll win
one.
the
That's all it
series.
takes. Scherzer's one time.
Yeah, they'll probably win the series.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So there you go. And so it's what Rangers in 6.
1-0. I want to see baseball. So Rangers in 7.
I was going to say
Play it
everybody
out.
holds court.
Play it out.
Everybody holds court at
Well,
home?
Arizona's been good on the road. And Texas has been good on the road too. Texas didn't win its first home playoff game until like the
Yeah.
second to last game in
Beasts.
the ALCS.
Beast. They come,
So-
they come into your house
Yeah.
and wreck shit. They
Yeah, so they hadn't lost.
come in and bust up your house, man.
For me, I'm being selfish, and I want to see 7 games of baseball, so I'm going to say Texas in 7.
Okay.
So,
And Johnny, you don't care.
hey, there was a baseball game last night.
No, I had to ask them. Oh, who's in the series? I don't even know. Like, I don't even care.
There's still baseball?
I'm offended, but it's okay.
We got basketball and football right now. I'm all on it.
Yeah, basketball just getting started, which is crazy. Yeah, the Zion clock is on. At what game does Zion miss one
Man, I
for
picked
a
him
minor
the other day.
injury for 20 games? All right, so that's going to wrap things up for us because we're getting into the hour and a half range here because we've been jibber jabbering all day. So once again, check out Spreaker.com or, of course, our good friends at SoundCloud for the audio version of this, which I'm going to get to work on right after I click all this off. So on behalf of myself and Damaz and Johnny Audubon and Andrew Lawson, who is away on retail assignment.
Miss you, bro.
Yeah, we'll catch you guys again next week here on the Gonzo Radio Sports Desk. Peace.